is the 8th generation of the BMW 5 Series. This is the electric version of the BMW 5 Series. This is an M. An electric and M, isn't that a paradox? But this is the BMW i5 M60 xDrive, which costs rupees 1.28 crores on road Mumbai, and it is awesome. One of the best electric cars I have ever driven. This is the key of the vehicle, which obviously has the M colors here. This is to lock the car, this is to unlock the car, this is to open the boot of the vehicle, and I think this is to sound the alarm so you can spot this beautiful car. I'm calling it beautiful even though I hate the design of the new 5 Series, because somehow the i5 looks better probably in M, guys, with all the M treatment, but this car in darker color shade definitely looks better. I have another key to show you. This is a card, this is the NFC card. All I have to do is tap this around the A pillar and the car will get unlocked straight away. Let's open the frunk, or rather the lack of it, because there is no space here, because this is not a born electric car. M logo here. Obviously the battery management system is somewhere here, and it has a front electric motor as well, but this is so flimsy. Okay, I'll just show it to you. Yeah, that is actually the battery management system. Let's put this back into place, otherwise it will fly when I accelerate the car. There is no insulation there. Washer fluid goes in right there, and it looks absolutely stunning in this sort of a black shade. First and foremost, you notice the illuminated kidney grille. Isn't that super duper cool? There's actually a camera here which can be cleaned from the inside. The M logo, the grille is completely closed. I think it opens depending on when it needs to breathe, but this is electric, so it doesn't really need to breathe as such. You get a towing hook, 6 parking sensors, because obviously it has got self park, a very aggressive bumper with lots of cuts and creases, and airflow vents as well, which is quite cool. The hood is like really very long. You can see the indicators functioning here. Otherwise, this is actually the DRL, and this is the high beam projector setup. Beautiful light. The lights are full LED lights. That's the reason it says BMW LED right here. Meanwhile, it gets a panel here, which is actually the radar panel for ADAS. It's got level 1 ADAS. There's no adaptive cruise control. It gets 2 cameras on the top for lane keep assist. There's a rain sensor as well for rain sensing. Wipers, obviously, beautiful BMW logo, but nothing to tell apart that this is actually an electric version of the 5 Series, other than the fact that the number plate is finished in green. Meanwhile, the length of this car is almost 5.1 meters. The wheelbase is almost 3 meters. This is not based on the long wheelbase version of the 5 Series, but we get the long wheelbase version of the 5 Series in India, which is actually longer by around 100 mm. So the wheelbase is longer by 115 mm and the length is longer by 110 mm. So the length of the 5 Series is actually almost 5.2 meters and the wheelbase is more than 3.1 meters. Here it is slightly smaller. A bigger wheelbase would be a nice thing here, because then you can accommodate a bigger battery as well. The car looks really awesome. However, the ground clearance is very low. You get this side skirt treatment, but look at the ground clearance, it's very less. Yeah, it's actually very less, and that's the reason you have to be very careful by driving this car on Indian roads. The M badging has been put here. The tires are big, 245 40 20 is the size of the tires. Red colored M brake calipers look super duper sexy. You obviously get a camera here. At night when you unlock the car, it projects something from here. It also moves a bit so you can exactly see what is around you. The rear tires are obviously bigger. 275 35 20s is the size of the rear tires. Again, red colored brake calipers, massive tires, massive brakes as well. Flush door handles so that aero efficiency improves. It says 5 right here. Charging port is located inside because this is not a born electric. It basically shares almost everything with the regular 5 Series, and that's the reason why it is so appealing in terms of aesthetics. Meanwhile, the rear will actually remind you of the 7 Series. Again, when you unlock the car at night, there's a light effect happening there. When you lock it, again, there's a light effect. There's a very subtle spoiler here, a lip spoiler. Says M60 right there. Beautiful LED lights. In fact, it says i5 right there. And the indicator is functioning at the moment, but no dynamic swipe function there. There's a camera here which actually has a washing function too, and that is the rear fog. You get a diffuser treatment, you get 6 parking sensors at the rear, and the design at the rear is a love it or hate it. And look at the size of the antenna. Oh my god, that is big. Well, that's what she said. Let's open the boot, which is not that big because obviously battery takes some space now. And there is, what is this? I mean, yeah, this is the tire inflator. This is the first aid kit. There's some storage space here, and below this you get 2 towing hooks as well, so that in case you want to tow the car when you're out of battery, you can do that too. Just pull this to fold the seat down, because 60-40 fold is obviously there in this car. And there's a hook here, I don't know for what that is. That is the warning triangle, and if you press a button, there it shuts, because this is a power tailgate, which is a nice thing. Meanwhile, look at the size of the tire. Oh my god, isn't that like super duper big? Is that an overkill? Not really, because this car really needs big tires because it is capable of a lot of performance. Doors open wide enough. I don't know, someone has actually kept their smartphone holder here. Yeah, this could have been bigger. Bowers and Wilkins sound system, amazing speakers, but no rear sun blinds, which is shocking because that's something even a Hyundai Creta offers these days. Leather treatment, beautiful quality, amazing actually. The seats are not as comfortable as say the regular 5 seats because space is obviously less here. Isofix child seat mounts, you can fold this down like this in 60/40. In fact, you can fold it even further. Yeah, so it's not really 60/40. It is actually 40/20/40. So now you can fold that also if you want to carry longer items. If you notice, the seat belt has the M colors and getting in and out is not difficult. Yeah, it is a bit on the lower side because of which under thigh support definitely suffers a bit. Yeah, under thigh support is not the best. Floor is not flat. There's some storage space here. 4-zone climate control air conditioning system. Yeah, 1 zone for every passenger. 2 USB-C charging sockets. Rear AC vents here, rear AC vents here. And then you can also mount a tablet here. USB-C charging socket. You get a hook, a handle, microphone almost everywhere. Light placement here on the top. Center passenger gets a head to Isofix child seat mounts. Obviously, there's top teeth are there. Gets 7 airbags. And the best thing is the dashboard because it looks kind of like the 7 series now. So space wise, it's not bad, but again, it's not as good as the regular 5 series because that is obviously the long wheelbase. Do you like the design of the dashboard? I think it looks very nice, but there are no height adjustable seat belts, which is a grave omission because that's something which even cheaper cars offer, obviously. Let's get out from here. Before that, let me show you this center armrest by pulling this. Twin cup holders here. There are no controls or tablets or anything of that sort. So again, BMW is like optional equipment, bro. Meanwhile, it actually says 5 here, right on, say, the chassis, on the body, whatever. No soft closed door function in this car, which is a bit disappointing because at this price I definitely expected because the E-Class offers it and the E-Class obviously costs slightly lesser. The paint has gone for a bit of a toss because I don't know, this is faded or what, but yeah, something seems to be burnt out. There should be the chassis number here. However, this is empty at the moment. Wipers spray from inside here. Yeah, there are no separate nozzles. So very nicely integrated nozzles, obviously. And I love this color scheme on this particular car, especially in M Sport, guys. Now, oh my goodness, I'm not going to call it M Sport because it's the M60, but it looks awesome. An M is an M is an M. Even the mirrors are M mirrors because look at them. Don't they look super duper awesome? Let's get inside where things are very similar to what they were before. Firstly, the seats are nice, chunky and very comfortable. The steering is a bit too ahead, obviously. Electric adjust for everything. So I press a button, you notice the seat is going down and the underside support will extend all the way. So you can adjust the seat in a multitude of ways, which is such a good thing. And the steering wheel also can be adjusted both for reach as well as rake. So you'll notice the steering will go inside and then it will go down, all by just pressing a button because everything works phenomenally smoothly in this car. But somehow the steering has decided not to work right now. So that's a bit messed up. So I'm just going to use it right now. And as soon as you open the driver door, now the car shuts off. That's a very frustrating thing in almost all the electric cars these days because everyone is like, let's save all the fuel in the world, which is a bit disappointing. Here, vehicle key is missing is what it says. Let me quickly open the panoramic moonroof. So there it is opening. It opens from the rear side. So that's a very clever technique of putting this sunblind somewhere inside here. How they managed to package it, I have no idea because this is a glass roof which does not open only. So what's the point of having a glass roof? It's not a sunroof, it's a moonroof. Press this button to open the glove box, which is decent sized. It has this beautiful lining on the inside. Doesn't get the cooling function. There's a letter from Anonymous. And this is obviously the manual of the car, which seems to be quite big. What do I have to read? Well, you can read something when the car is charging because charging obviously takes some amount of time. And I think it is approximately 400 pages in terms of size, which is like a lot. Nice pedals, proper dead pedal, and you get the plane on the brake. Should be on the accelerator now. And the control for the AC vents is very different here. So this is how you control the AC vents, which is nice. These are the controls for the headlight, and this is to turn on and off the fan of the air conditioning system. So very touch based. In fact, this is also touch based, which is horrible to use. And it says Bose and Wilkins. In fact, if someone is coming from behind, this will blink red to tell you not to come out. And the switches are plastic, which is a bit cheap. They should have been metal at this price. Just to open the boot of the vehicle, again, big door pockets here. And once I get inside, I realize that this cabin is very nicely done because these screens are oriented towards the driver. Let's shut the door. Quality is obviously amazing. Shuts with a proper thud. Let me turn on the car. There it makes this sound. All electric cars have this sound when you turn on the car. Auto dimming mirror here, light placement here on the top, and here you obviously get a mirror. Same in the case here as well. Obviously you get a light too, and there is a microphone. Even the driver has a handle to hold on to, which is quite cool. It says airbag here, And below here you have got some storage space. There's actually a light and a 12-volt charging socket. Meanwhile, this is finished in piano black. There's a wireless charging pad here, and there is another phone holder, twin cup holders, two USB-C charging sockets, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of them work wirelessly. This is an amazing panel because you get a lot of physical controls. Auto hold, electric parking brake, this is the gear selector, start stop button. And the best thing is this crystal iDrive controller, which is amazing. Lot of physical buttons. This is for the volume controller, again sort of a glass one. This is using iDrive 8.5, which is awesome because it works fantastically well. This is a 14.9-inch screen. It is very slick to use. So if I press this button here, I come into the seat settings and then I can make a lot of alterations to the seat. However, this is touch control. You get memory seats. You can save up to 2 people's settings. However, this is really bad to operate because it's touch now. So you really don't even understand when it's working, when it's not. And this ambient lighting is just amazing. This light bar, which is having sort of the crystal treatment, is awesome. You press the hazard, it blinks red, and then you can change the color. In fact, whenever you change the drive modes, this completely changes, and it does it very slowly with a nice effect. So that's again awesome. I think there's a speaker here. There's a heads-up display, which also gives you a lot of information, and the steering gets a flat bottom treatment with the M logo. These are the controls to browse through this particular screen, which is a 12.3-inch screen for the instrument cluster. This is for the cruise control. This boost button will give you 10 seconds of additional boost, automatic wipers, automatic headlights, I believe they should be there, and this red treatment because this is an M at the end of the day. The horn, is also nice, and then BMW logo actually has this blue surround because this is an electric. Look at the stitching here, beautifully done. Some physical controls here, thankfully. So other than the hazards, air conditioning controls are also physical. Let me get into the air conditioning setting and let me turn off the air conditioning. So 4-zone climate control air conditioning, I've already told you, and we can come into the home menu wherein I can spin the car. It's exactly showing me if I press the brake or not. So whenever you turn on the car, it has this nice effect here, it has this effect here as well, and when you turn it off again, that effect is there. The effect is there on the ambient lighting. This car is complete theater, which is amazing. So I can browse through and save a lot of stuff here. Yeah, there's personal assistant and whatnot. And then I can come into drive record. I can record my drive. There's an interior camera. There is the camera here, but you have to log in with your BMW ID, so BMW can also save your stuff. There is telephone, weather, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation. In fact, the navigation is so advanced here that in case you have less charge, the navigation will be able to sense where's the charger and pre-condition the battery as well. Isn't that super duper awesome? Yeah, it can be a bit creepy as well that the car knows exactly where you are going, but yeah, that also happens. What an amazing screen, super duper slick. What button I was trying to press, and there we come back where we are. So it's awesome to browse, but it can get a bit confusing because there's so many things inside here, right from charging, BMW assistant, BMW messages, automate habits. You can turn on and off the passenger airbag. Let's come into interior lighting because this guy's got 15 colors for the ambient lighting. Yeah, just 15 colors, which is quite less. It should have 64 colors at least, but BMW is like, no, we will only give 15 colors. We will not give any more color than that. Let's come into reverse because this is the reverse parking camera, and it is amazing because the bird's eye view is just awesome. If you're going to hit something, it turns around, flips and flops. Awesome. Then there's this car wash view, but most importantly, there is the 3D view, which is super awesome because you can just browse through like this to see multiple views, and the camera here is just amazing. There are no two ways about it. Now, obviously, it has got something known as reversing assistant, wherein it can match your path in reverse. So basically, it will turn the steering wheel on its own so that you can easily park your car. All those things are there. So in terms of tech, it's very similar to other BMW cars. Nothing new on that front. This particular screen is telling me start reversing assistant. I don't want to start reversing assistant at the moment. Can you just get out of this menu? And then I can change what I want to see into the cluster. So that is the multi-information display, which has multiple modes. Can be a bit slow to respond at times. Change it. Yeah, why are you so slow? Why are you lagging? You have a compass, you obviously have a map view, you have a G-force meter too, and then naturally you should also have a power and torque meter. Now that is obviously for the audio. I can change the layouts as well, so depending on the drive mode, this also changes. So whenever I change the drive mode, all that can be changed as well, and I can make changes to the heads-up display in terms of what all information I see. So there's a directional view, there's a standard view, there's I think a navigation view, there's a sport view, there's a reduced view. I'm just going to keep it sport view, but not that you're going to see much because there's no tachometer. Doesn't need to have tachometer. However, if I get into my modes here, come into sport, notice how everything changes. Similarly, if I come into efficient, then I can activate maximum range, and once I do that, it will turn off the air conditioning and boost the range by around 20-25%. Oh my god, 427 kilometers range, which is amazing. So let's just deactivate that mode because it's not very practical. I can't drive without air conditioning. Expressive is a bit weird, but things get even weirder if I come into the digital art. I mean, what is this digital art? Is this a car or I don't know, is it like stupid or something? I press relax, it's shutting the sun blind, so it makes tweaks to the air conditioning, to the music system, to the various systems of this car, like it's shut the sun blind right now. All these things it does on the fly to make sure that I feel that things are got customized. Look at the ambient lighting. The ambient lighting is super duper awesome. It obviously has gesture controls. And audio quality is just phenomenal here. Are you noticing anything at the moment? There's this weird sound which is coming to make sure that I'm relaxed right now. So that is actually something it does in the relaxation modes, and you can change the sound as well. It has got seat ventilation, but there is no seat massage in this car. Not that you really need it. And because this is an M, it has this sort of a carbon fiber treatment here. Lot of M bits in this car, but does it drive like an M? Let's go! Alright, it's time to start driving. Let's turn on the car. It makes this weird sound every time the car turns off or on and off, whatever. And let's straight away come into sport drive mode, activate sport DSC as well. And then I am actually going to come into, it's a bit confusing here. I wanted to see some vehicle data here. Hey BMW, sport display. There we have the sport display. And we are in the best drive mode right away. Let's launch it. Hazard lights off, launch control active. This car is way too fast. 3.7 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. BMW claims it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds, but it went faster than that. I was not aiming to go that fast, but my goodness, this car is absolutely quick. You can see the blind spot alert there because of the ADAS system. Forward collision warning coming here. In fact, this ADAS system display is amazing. Firstly, it's very well calibrated, and secondly, someone's walking inside now. If a pedestrian is coming, it actually shows the person walking, which is so amazing. Like, it is just awesome the way this system has been done. Yeah, it's quite well calibrated. This is how ADAS should be calibrated. Anyways, this is a super quick car. How is this so fast? This has 2 electric motors. So let me first tell you, what does the i5 range consist of? There is the eDrive 40, which is not available in India, and there is the M60 xDrive, which is available in India, which is obviously all-wheel drive. With the eDrive 40, they have a single motor at the rear, so it's just rear-wheel drive, which actually makes around 335 horsepower. But with the M60, they have an additional motor at the front, making it around 175 kgs heavier. In that process, they also add a 256 horsepower motor at the front, resulting in 601 horsepower. And my goodness, it is super duper quick. The kind of acceleration this car has will definitely blow your mind, because it pulls and it pulls and it continuously keeps pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling. 601 horsepower and 795 newton meters of torque. Let that sink in. Top speed 230 kilometers per hour. Obviously, this is electric, so all the torque comes in very linearly and gives you an instant push. I am telling you, you cannot prepare for it. In fact, the key is continuously moving inside because of the level of acceleration. Yeah, this key is continuously sliding ahead and behind, so I'll just keep it in my pocket right now. And then no, there's something else which is moving right now. Yeah. Oh, this car is fast, but it's not like other electric cars which make you sick. I don't know how, because maybe the dynamics have been very well sorted here, so you don't feel sick at all. You feel one with the car, you feel amazing while driving it, and the performance is definitely mind-blowing to say the least. Now I'm obviously in sport drive mode, which restricts DSC, but still there's no issue in terms of traction levels, because there is so much grip on offer here because of the wide tires. It drives amazingly well. Let's use the wipers here. The wipers are also amazing, but it's the performance which really blows your mind. It pulls so relentlessly, and for rupees 1.28 crores, you get absolute bang for your buck, because for this price, you get the best horsepower. I mean, horsepower per like whatever the money equation here is, just amazing. Car flies instantly. It is so good in terms of dynamics as well. Obviously, low profile tires don't really help, because with the low profile tires now, the ride is not the best, but overall ride quality is not bad at all. The ground clearance is horrendous though, and it touches almost everywhere. And the battery pack is small, 83.9 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is coming from the i4, which is not making any logical sense. The battery pack should definitely come from the i7. Why are you giving it from the i4? Because this battery is small and the range is less. On a full charge, 100% charge, it goes around 350-360 kilometers, which is very it needs a bigger battery for sure, but the charging is quite efficient. If you want to charge it fast, it can charge all the way from 10 to 80% in just 30 minutes using a 205 kilowatt DC fast charger. That's the maximum speed, although when charging it shows the maximum speed till 210 kilowatt. Funny thing is, usually after 80% the battery starts charging at a lower speed, but this car did not show any of those signs. So when I was charging it, it continued to charge beyond 80 and 90% at the same 60 kilowatt speed, which is quite amazing actually. So range is not impressive, performance is mind-blowing. I've driven the EQS 53, a car I really liked, and this car actually feels even better than that somehow, purely because this feels like a regular 5 Series with a shot of steroids, or I don't know what, because the way it pulls, amazing, absolutely scintillating performance. Steering is beautifully weighed. Car is like really very low to the ground, taking a U-turn no problem at all. Yeah, it's just an effortless car to drive, and the way it pulls is amazing. And then you come to a speed breaker and you realize, oh my goodness, it's the worst car ever, because the ground clearance is like really very low, like horrendous ground clearance. It touches almost the fake sound. Yeah, it touches almost everywhere. That's how low the ground clearance is. There's no air suspension. It has got adaptive dampers, and because of adaptive dampers, naturally it makes changes to the suspension depending on the drive modes. So there are obviously multiple drive modes. There's an efficient drive mode, which also has an additional maximum efficiency mode, wherein it will push the efficiency up by another 25% by turning off the air conditioning, to make sure that if you don't have a charger around, you will get to a charger. Standard comes with an 11 kilowatt AC charger. However, you can opt for the 22 kilowatt AC charger as well. I know it's very glum right now, the light is really dim, but it's been kind of unfortunate that there's been too much traffic and I'm not being able to get a clear patch of road to launch something which is this powerful. Let me quickly come into the my modes and come into the efficiency drive mode. In efficiency now, it kind of feels sober down, and I'm going to go really slowly over the speed bump because I'm so scared it's going to touch anywhere, anytime. And I don't like the cluster. Can't they have the regular physical dials? That would be so cool. Yeah, the efficiency mode makes you believe that, okay, everything is chilled out here. Look at the way the cluster changes. I mean, it's too much of a drama, unnecessary for sure. And then there's this relax thing, which instantly opens the sunblind, and my camera is mounted, so it touched it and it came back because of the anti-pinch mode, obviously. So note to self not to come into the relax mode. Digital art is a gimmick. Yeah, what nonsense is this digital art? Why does this guy occupy 1.5 lanes? He should enter from that side. But anyways, so we are going to come to a halt here. I'm not going to launch it here because I have to go right.
2 very boring minutes later.
This has been the longest signal in the world. Almost 3 minutes I've been waiting here. Anyways, this digital art is like, whoa, what is it? Anyways, globally now they also have really advanced systems wherein you won't believe it that the car will suggest a lane change, and if you glance at the mirror, the car will get a nod to change the lane, and it will change the lane as well. Can you believe that? This is obviously using BMW's 5th generation of the eDrive system, and this car actually has a usable capacity of 81.2 kilowatt hour. The WLTP claim range is 516 kilometers, which looks good and fancy, but in the real world now, you will never even ever cross 400 kilometers, no matter how efficiently you drive it, which is quite disappointing. Obviously, it uses the cluster architecture, which is shared with the 7 Series, the i7, the 5 Series. So BMW is obviously not doing born electric for a reason, and it's really working for them. In spite of the fact that it's not born electric, it's actually very slippery. 0.22 to 0.23 is actually the CD value, so it's very aerodynamic a car, so I can't write that off. The only thing is that doesn't have that natural sound to it. That is one of the biggest issues with electric cars. So you don't really feel the okay now, even in relaxed mode or even in like the calm modes, it accelerates like it's going to wallop ahead. It's just going to jump ahead. It does weigh a lot, 2,400 kg. Somehow you don't feel that weight only. So BMW has really done a great job in masking all that weight. Somehow this car doesn't feel its weight. It's also because it has got active roll stabilization. How does that work? Well, it has got active anti-roll bars. The 48-volt mild hybrid system enables it somehow, and it has got rear wheel steering, which turns by only 2.5 degrees, thereby reducing the turning radius of the car, and it somehow works magically well. Okay, let's just get out of this drive mode. I know we've been in it for some time right now because I want to change the colors. The colors are just amazing. I love the ambient lighting. I think it's one of the best ambient lighting. And if you're disappointed with the sound of this car, then BMW also has iconic sounds software wherein you can actually tune the soundtrack coming from the electric motor, which is obviously fake, which is piped through the speakers, because electric cars are just silent and refined, which actually works well. But when you have 600 horsepower, you need more sound. You need some sound of exhaust or the engine or the airbox. None of that is here, obviously, which actually makes me believe that although you get M5 thrills for a lot less money, doesn't have the soul of an M5. An M5 is an M5 is an N5, and nothing beats an M5 ever. BMW has done some clever engineering bits with this car. For starters, they've integrated the traction control system right into the ECU, thereby reducing the lag between the systems, and they say that it's 10 times faster to react as well. And right now in this drive mode, the sound is a bit weird. Like, what is this sound? It sounds like there's going to be some explosion of sorts. Not very reassuring. You can do better sounds, BMW. Okay, finally it is the time you have been waiting for, because you are going to take a quick U-turn, and rear wheel steering obviously helping, turning by 2.5 degrees. Not much, but it definitely helps here. 2400 kgs weight cannot be felt because of the active anti-roll bars, which is obviously working with the 48-volt mild hybrid. Not 48-volt mild hybrid, there's no mild hybrid, but 48-volt system is there inside, which makes me quickly come into sport mode because we need to launch, and we need to launch ASAP. And there's this boost button here, and launch control active. Launch control anyways gives me full boost, but I can just use this paddle. 10 seconds of 10% more power, baby. Woo! 3.55 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. BMW's claim time has been beaten again and again because this car is just so freaking quick. Obviously, we are driving in the night, which means the temperature is better, which means that the thermal efficiency is the name of the game. Better cooling obviously makes the car go faster as well. Rupees 1.28 crores is the price of this car. Is a steal because the competitors like the Porsche Taycan and the Audi e-tron GT obviously cost a lot more. Registration is just rupees 50,000. The insurance cost for this car is rupees 4.88 lakh rupees, which is okay considering the price of this car. That's very much expected. But when compared to the regular 5 Series, which is actually longer and more spacious, this car costs rupees 41.3 lakhs more, because there are two variants of the 5 Series, the 530 Li, and both of them are priced the same, 86.7 lakhs on road Mumbai, because this car actually comes via the CBU route, and that's the reason why the car's price is obviously on the higher side in comparison. So this car slots right in between the i4 and the i7, but it doesn't make any sense why the 3 Series electric version is known as the i4. Technically it should be known as the i3, but they already have a ugly looking i3 from long back, so they fucked up the naming before, and now they have to obviously pay for it, because doesn't make sense to call the EV version of the 3 Series as the i4. It should be called as the i3. But you know, German brands are known to mess up the names. Look what Audi is doing, what Mercedes is doing. All of them cannot figure out how they should be naming their cars, because they're still developing their cars, and they realize, oh, we can enter this segment as well, which means that car should be called this, or that this car should be called that. That confusion is still looming at large. Let's see how fast can this car go, which means we're already in sport mode. We are all set to launch it aggressively to see if it can beat the previous record, which I did of 3.55 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard lights off, and launch control active. 3.57 seconds, which means that BMW's claim is actually slower than what this car is capable of doing. That's how bloody fast it is. It is impressive. Okay, let's do the audio test right away. Amazing audio quality, is just lovely, and the ambient lighting is simply lovely because I love the way the colors have been done. Yeah, the light bars are super thick, have this crystal effect, but they reflect here on the mirrors, which is a bit of a problem. Otherwise, let me change the color and show you. Now, it's not going to change right now because I'm going to say that it's not going to happen in this particular drive mode. Yeah, function currently not available because we are in sport drive mode, which means I have to come into the personal setting here, the personal my modes. Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but look at the colors. Okay, they are so awesome, the way they have been done. Wow, just amazing. Yeah, I never expected that ambient lighting could be this amazing, but yeah, BMW's really surprised us with such cool looking ambient light colors. Super amazing. And I don't have to click on the touchscreen. I can do it from the iDrive controller as well. This screen is an information overload. This much information is never ever needed in a screen, but BMW is like, why not? We can do it. And every time I accelerate, I forget everything. That's how good this car is in terms of acceleration, in terms of dynamics only. I wish the ground clearance was better. And because of the lack of ground clearance, I have to say, this is a car you cannot buy and run on Indian roads. The ground clearance is not just poor, it is beyond poor. You're going to scrape this almost everywhere. It is a pain. That side skirt is just not needed. And I think the battery pack is also hanging from below. And that's another problem of not having a born electric car. They have to somehow manage. And on that disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's the like button. And also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye. Before that, once I put in sport mode now, even the okay, here, listen to this. I am telling you, as soon as I put the car in sport mode now, the bolsters tightened up. So there's a lot of trickery happening here, which makes this car one of the best electric cars in the world. Not for me personally, because I think the Lucid Air is just better, but it's never made or never going to be made in right-hand drive, at least in the near future, which means if you're looking to buy an electric car, well, this is the one to opt for. Otherwise, trust me on this, save some money, get the BMW M2, cheaper, faster, more soul, more sound. End of story. Bye.